What's up, everybody, and welcome to Post Hype. I'm your host MJ, and today we're going to be giving you our official breakdown of the final Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. This one was so epic and contains so many hidden details and Easter eggs to go over, from our first official reveal of MODOK to how Kang might finally escape the quantum realm. So if you guys appreciate these breakdowns, make sure to smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. The trailer opens up with a shot of San Francisco, accompanied by a chilling yet heroic music buildup.
You're an interesting man.
We get to see quick cuts of both Ant-Man and the Wasp going through their everyday lives as Avengers, from Scott walking down the street to Hope exiting the back of a limousine. We also see that Scott is accompanying Hope at what looks like to be a red carpet event, setting up that both of them seem to be very content and satisfied with their current status in the 616 universe. However, could all of the fame and success be masks that simply can't cover the yearning that Scott still feels to get that time he lost with Cassie? In my opinion, it truly feels like the charade of celebrity that both Ant-Man and the Wasp have been using to mask their inner demons is exactly what Kang is going to use against them in order to finally make his grand escape from the quantum realm. This point is even further solidified by the shots we get in this trailer of Scott getting a phone call from Cassie. However, her contact picture is still one of when she was younger. This shot is immediately followed up by Cassie being released from jail, which was definitely done purposefully. It looks like she is unfortunately following in the footsteps of Scott Lang, something that perhaps he feels like he could have avoided had he been given the time to. Time seems to be an extremely crucial aspect of this trailer and to Kang's master plan, even further solidifying my theory that time is the most important part of this third installment of the Ant-Man trilogy is the narration we hear from Kang accompanying all of the footage we've seen up to this point.
You're an Avenger. You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time, like me.
Now, something that I think is extremely important to note is that Kang makes it known that he also has lost a lot of time. On the surface, you could think that he's perhaps just referencing to the time that he spent down in the quantum realm ever since the multiversal war. However, I think that there's more to this. For those of you who don't know, in the comics, Kang was actually in love with Ravonna Renslayer. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, it's for a good reason. We actually get to see Ravonna a great deal in the Loki series on Disney+. And just in case you forgot, Ravonna left on a mission at the very end of the season. My theory is that Kang is not only trying to escape the quantum realm to conquer the universe, but deep down inside has been longing to reconnect with his long lost love, Ravonna Renslayer. So just as Scott feels like he's lost time with Cassie, Kang feels like he's lost time with Ravonna. These two characters may have a lot more in common than we can ultimately see on the surface, and the quantum realm is all about what lies beneath, right under our noses. The trailer then proceeds to give us footage that we've seen in previous trailers, showing us how Cassie, Scott, Hope, and Janet all get sucked into the quantum realm. Now look guys, I just have to point out how freaking badass Jonathan Majors looks as Kang the Conqueror, especially with his blue face shield. I'm actually almost sad to see him remove it, but I guess he has to try and connect with Scott on a human level. Kang's narration continues throughout the entirety of the trailer, here saying that he's the man who can give Ant-Man the one thing he wants: time. The trailer gives us a quick classic Marvel comic scroll for the opening, but it's not hesitant to show us the massive city of Chronopolis. One thing that you'll notice from here on out is the constant use of rings. Every single aspect of this city is designed with a very specific type of hovering ring, eerily similar to the rings that we got to see in Shang-Chi, which also, funny enough, took place partially in San Francisco. Could this mean that the rings are identical to the one that Kang uses in this movie? Or perhaps they were sent to the Mandarin by Kang himself? I'd love to hear your guys' theories down in the comments below. This next part of the trailer shows all of the rings that we saw below Chronopolis before rising up around the city, backed by narration from Janet, who says that Kang can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. Little does she know that Loki and Sylvie already did the trick though. We then see footage of Scott seemingly being split into two. Is this an effect of the quantum realm itself, or perhaps a power of Kang's? I'm not entirely sure yet, but we do see hundreds, if not thousands, or perhaps even millions of Ant-Mans later on in the trailer. And it seems like Scott is using this ability to gather whatever it is that Kang needs to finally make his grand exit from the quantum realm. The narration continues as we get a back and forth dialogue between Janet and Scott.
You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much.
Now, it seems that Janet is obviously aware of the power that Kang holds, and as scared as she is, Scott, overridden with regret, disregards her warnings and fear, supposedly choosing to accept Kang's request to finally get that time that he lost back. Now, this is just my theory, but I'm pretty sure what's happening here is that Kang, who Janet has already explained to us has the power to rewrite existence and shatter timelines, makes a promise to Scott that if he retrieves whatever it is that he needs to escape from the quantum realm, he will alter reality to give Scott those years he lost back with Cassie. This is very reminiscent, in my opinion, of the plot we saw in Spider-Man No Way Home, where Peter was selfishly willing to alter the state of his universe for his own personal desires. Now, although spending time with your daughter may be a more respectable cause than just getting into college, the ignorance that Scott displays right here, being so willing to alter reality for himself, will ultimately be his downfall and, ironically, the beginning of Kang's conquest over the multiverse. I think what bothers me most, however, is whether or not Scott has taken the time to see if Cassie even wants to go back, to give that time back with her. Do Janet and all of the people of Earth want this? I mean, to help one of the biggest threats in the entire multiverse, when you'll be affecting the lives of every single person around you. It really seems like Ant-Man is thinking with his ant-sized brain as opposed to his Scott-sized one. On a lighter note, however, it's here in the trailer where we also actually get our very first look at MODOK, the one and only. We also get to see Kang's Pythians escorting Scott and Cassie alongside MODOK, but MODOK is the one we were all waiting for. It's been reported that MODOK is actually an altered version of Darren Cross from the first Ant-Man movie. It's theorized that his body was mutated from his trip into the quantum realm after being defeated by Ant-Man at the end of that film, which led to him growing a huge head and turning into the fan favorite MODOK. Personally, one thing I especially love about this movie is how much passion and care has seemingly gone into making all aspects of the wacky and zany quantum realm as comic accurate as possible. Gone are the days of the X-Men wearing all black leather suits in the early 2000s, and I couldn't be more happy about it. It's so nice to see the MCU embracing all of the crazy elements that make the original comic run so unique. We get more flashbacks of a younger version of Cassie that then nicely transition into modern day Cassie in the quantum realm, giving Scott a giant hug. This could be the first time they've reconnected since being taken hostage by Kang, and perhaps it's this time apart once again that has solidified in Scott's mind that he's willing to do whatever it takes to get all that time back with Cassie that he can. The trailer then shows us Ant-Man going all ant mode and diving into what I can only describe as a trippy floor of tentacles. What this is, I'm not actually sure, so if you guys know or have any theories of your own, feel free to let us know down below. We get some great shots showing off the world of the quantum realm and just how unique and vast it really is, quickly followed up by the millions of Ant-Mans that I mentioned earlier in the breakdown. Now, the question that I have here is, what are all of the Scotts piling up towards? It seems like some sort of giant energy ball surrounded by those hovering rings that Kang has all over the place. However, if Scott is shrunken down at the moment, perhaps it's a normal size ball of energy that Kang has previously tried to harness but has never fully been able to. I think this energy is exactly what Kang needs to be able to finally leave the quantum realm once and for all, and Ant-Man's ability to shrink down in size will allow him to somehow harness that energy for Kang. I think it's even further supported by the fact that we get a close-up shot of the energy inside of the rings, backed by Kang saying,
You will bring me what I need.
We also hear Kang tell Ant-Man that he will bring him what he needs, or everything that he calls life will end. So as hard as I've been on Scott for making the wrong decision to assist Kang in this movie, perhaps he was ultimately left with very little say in the matter. As the music ramps up, the next part of the trailer gives us a montage of war starting. It seems like Kang has made some enemies in his time down in the quantum realm, and perhaps the accumulation of all those quarrels will take place in his final efforts to leave. As to be expected, however, it seems like even though Scott presumably got the energy that Kang needed, Kang ultimately decides to not uphold his end of the bargain. We then get this epic sequence of absolute mayhem where Scott, Hope, Kang, Modoc, and even Janet are fighting in an all-out battle to be the ones who escape the quantum realm. There's also this short little clip of Janet that you might have missed, supposedly grabbing Scott and pulling him up into the energy that he's trying to obtain for Kang. Since she's been there before, perhaps she's actually familiar with this power that he's looking for. Unfortunately, in a tragic turn of events, it seems like Ant-Man is ultimately no match for the Conqueror.
You thought you could win.
But is he trying to be?
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
The trailer then ends on a shot of Kang shooting his classic blue beams out of his hands as all-out war proceeds to go on behind him. Wow, guys, I mean, what more is there to say? I really think that this movie could be what we were all hoping for all along with Phase 4 of the MCU. This seems like it could be what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness really should have been, in my opinion. And to finally get our first real glimpse at the big bad who's going to be taking on the Avengers throughout the entirety of the next two phases, I mean, what more could we ask for? You guys make sure to let us know what you thought about this trailer, and if there's anything we missed, leave it down in the comments below. As always though, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.